So in this video, I'm talking about phase 2 of redesign, and this is implementation. And most people focus on this phase. They're always thinking about, okay, what is it that we are doing? And they skip the first phase, which is what I talked about in the previous video, which is getting your plan, figuring out what you're going to do. You need to have that in place. Otherwise you're just walking around and you have no idea where you're going. You need to get a plan, get a map, and get people with you on board so that you can actually go someplace and you know where that place is. And you know if you've reached it. So that's phase 1. Phase 2, let's assume now you have a plan, that you know what you're going to do. Making that happen is a whole other thing than mapping it out on a piece of paper, or even mapping it out in a series of meetings where it feels like things are happening. Implementation is the next big phase. So I would say the number one thing that we work on with schools is getting that plan, what you're going to do. The number 2 thing we work on with them is the second piece, which is implementation. And we spend a lot of time working with schools on this because this is where you get down into the details. So this is where it's like, how do I logistically make this happen? How do we get everybody in our school, particularly different areas of the school, like student services, or, is our IR and our IE, are they aware of what's going on? Are they supporting us with this? Are we including them? Because we need to. Usually they're very happy to support, but we have to bring them into the conversation. So implementation is about making it happen, making consistent progress, and not just doing things, not in a flurry of activity, but actually progressing. So sometimes I use this analogy. It's the difference of being on a treadmill and being on a road. We're not just doing activity as say we're doing activity, like, oh, let's just pilot X, and then we can say we're implementing. No, implementation is about taking that plan from a vision to reality and really making that happen, which means sticking to it when things get tough and persisting even when life happens and the semester happens and things like this pandemic happen and we get thrown curveballs on a regular basis. That's one of the things that we work on with schools a lot. And where we cut our teeth the most with this was all the work that I did in Illinois at the state level with our state level implementation of a law that affected high schools and colleges. But even after I left my position at the state level, in my business, we have spent a ton of time helping the high schools that had to implement this law. And we learned, what does it take to actually take something from this is what you're going to do on paper and actually make it a reality. And that's the kind of thing that, it's not a one and done. It's ongoing. It's multiple ways. Things like it's not just one kind of professional development or one day. It's ongoing professional development and support. It's resources. It's having people that you can talk to as you're teaching new ways or as you're trying something and it's not quite working, that can walk you through things, different choices that you can make. Because implementation is a very dynamic and fluid phase. A lot is going on. There's a lot to measure. There's a lot to figure out. You still got your day job, and having someone guide you through it so that you will continue to make progress. And when you hit the stumbling blocks, because you will, because everyone does, you have someone to help get you over them and keep you moving. That is what we do a lot of, and there's a lot of different ways to make that happen. There's not just one way. That is where we have changed our membership. So I talked about this. I kind of hinted about this a couple months ago, that we were changing our membership, Your STEM. We now have the new name. It is going to be called Modern Math. And it is this platform that has asynchronous professional development. So it has like videos of all these different trainings that we have that have been really popular, plus resources, plus community, but we're adding more things to it. And it's something that we're offering schools as we help them with their implementation. Resources are nice. The internet can give you those too, but they're not enough. It's also having that human element. So Modern Math isn't just this thing that's on the internet where we have a bunch of resources and videos. The idea is that we are building out this support structure for schools as they go through implementation, that they get things like coaching, consulting, problem solving. They have someone that's regularly checking in with them going, where are you at with your plan? What's working, what's not. You don't just feel like you're just winging it, but you actually have a method and an approach and a thoughtful way to go about things. So that is phase 2. Phase 3 is in the next video.